States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Present.
Mr. Maynard.
Present.
Mr. Powers.
Present.
Ms. Valerio Nauk, present. Ms. Wilson.
Present.
And Ms. Kaminsky.
Present, let the record reflect that all 7 board members are in attendance. Also in attendance, I see Ms. Presley Dorset, our Chief Financial Officer, Lee Walmsley, our HR Director, Teresa Wilson, our Executive Secretary, and do I still see Alex back there? I think, oh, I don't. And I still see Carla. Thank you. The superintendent and the board president recommend that the board approve the agenda as submitted or amended. Board members, due to a scheduling conflict, the Teacher of the Year presentation and the curriculum additions by Heather are not going to be presented this evening.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Do I have support?
Second.
Mr. Powers, is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Maynard.
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk, yes. Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Those items will be at our next board meeting on June the 9th, board members. Approval of the minutes, the superintendent and the board president recommend that the board approve the April 23rd, 2025 curriculum committee meeting minutes. May 2nd, 2025 marketing committee meeting minutes. May 12th, Board of Education minutes. May 12th, 2025 closed session minutes. Is there a motion on the floor to approve these minutes?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, thank you. Is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson, is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, please take the roll. Mrs. Wilson.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Maynard.
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk, yes. And Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Correspondence, the superintendent and the board president recommend that the board accept the correspondence and receive them from Othir Rucker and Michael Johnson. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move to accept correspondence.
Oh, I do apologize. Board members, I do apologize. I have skipped an item. I would like to go back into sequential order. Approval of the bills. The superintendent and the board president recommend that the board approve the bills ending May 16th of 2025. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Is there support?
Support.
Ms. Wilson, thank you. Is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Maynard.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk, yes. And Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion carries 7-0. Now to the correspondence. The superintendent and the board president recommend that the board accept the correspondence and receive them from Othir Rucker and Mr. Michael Johnson.
I'd like to renew my motion that the board accept the correspondence and receive them.
Mr. Powers makes the motion. Is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson, thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk, yes. Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
And Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes, motion carries 7-0. Our presentation this evening is on our Honor Corps. Mr. Woods will be here shortly. He is filling in another role, but he will be here as quickly as possible. In lieu of Mr. Woods, we have our Executive Secretary who will be making the presentation this evening.
Good evening, everyone. At first, we'd like to acknowledge our Board of Education. And the most important reason that we are here today is to honor our Honor Corps students, the brightest and finest, the Clintondale Community Schools. These students earned a 4.478 through a 3.50 GPA. And our list is as follows. Casey Zabel, who is our valedictorian. Rebecca Moncoy, who is also a valedictorian. Juan Lopez, who is also valedictorian. Our student representative, Aubriana Guzman, valedictorian. Braden Andre, who is also valedictorian. Benjamin Hadsick, salutatorian. Avery Saminsky, Carvel Amos, Latina Bennett, Denzel Richardson, Laneza Kazik, Adnaya Gibson-Smith, Jaden Shagwu, Connor Gibson, Jason Blue, Jasmine Lucas, and Ashlyn Collins. At this time, if we have any of these students in the audience, if you could please approach the podium and give us a few brief words of your future plan and your wonderful
My name is Jay Sean Blue, and I plan to get my PhD in psychology.
My name is Casey Zabel, and I'm going to Wayne State University to major in nursing.
My name is Adriana Guzman, and in the fall I will be attending Eastern Michigan for early education.
Hi, I'm Avery Saminsky, and I'm going to Michigan State to major in microbiology.
Hi, I'm Latiana Bennett. I'm going to Grand Valley State University to major in medical diagnostic sonography.
Hello, my name is Denzel, and I'm going to Wayne State to major in exercise science.
At this time, if we could have our Board of Education in the center of the floor for photos with our Honor Corps students.
Board members?
Watch up over the desk. The kids are dashing you.
I don't know if my leg will make it over the desk.
You know what, should I? Thank you. Hey! How they do? Mr. Wood got out of there.
Mr. Powers and Ms. Santini, if you would come forward a little bit. And Ms. Guerrero.
I would never.
I need the tallest person here. And then to shift over.
I'm rusty, I can only stay for so long, sorry.
There we go. All right. Big smiles, go Dragons. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Audience members, there is some punch and cookies at the back of the room. Please help yourself to these wonderful refreshments as we celebrate our seniors. Mr. Woods, did you want to say a few words? Thank you. Put on your other hat.
My apologies for being a little late. I was assisting the boys' baseball team out back there because it was my job to announce these fine young folks here. Outstanding students and better people. And it's been a pleasure to have you guys with me. No, I mean that sincerely. They are very fine young people who are going to be very successful. And as much as it pains me to say this also, Ms. Zabel, Casey was also the Lady Dragons MVP of the softball season. Good job.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is our superintendent's report. Ken, take it away.
Thank you very much. So for my report this evening, I actually have some students that I'd like to, and staff member I'd like to introduce. We had senior projects here, it's hard to believe, a couple weeks ago now. Seniors are at home, probably helping out with chores and doing everything else, looking for a summer job. So we called them back out of those busy schedules to come back. So I'd like to introduce this senior project presentation and the sponsor, Mrs. Julie Shire, to come up to the podium to introduce some of her students.
Good evening. For some of you have been around for a while, but for those of you who are not familiar with how the senior project works, this is a capstone project that is done by students in the senior English class. It is I think they'll back me up on this, fairly massive project. This takes them the last 3 months of school. And we start the beginning of March, we take it all the way up literally until their last day in my classroom. But it gives them the opportunity to use every skill they've learned in a reading class or an English class almost since they learned the alphabet in kindergarten. Every skill they've learned, they get to put together for this project. We start by choosing a topic that they care strongly about. I have some guidelines, but they have quite a bit of freedom to find a topic that they're passionate about that affects people's lives, whether it's themselves personally, a family member, or just a segment of the population that they strongly care about. They get to pick this topic, and so we take this topic and they go through it in 3 stages. We start with research. They have to find curated information about this topic, about the way that it affects people's lives. Once they've done their research, they start writing. And they complain, and then they write some more, and then they complain some more. And in the end, we end up with a written presentation of their research and their own insights into this topic and the impact it has on people's lives. And then we finish by presentations. And they have to present in a few different ways. They do present to their classmates, to their peers, But we've also expanded this to what we refer to as our presentation fair. If you think of an old-fashioned science fair in a movie, that's what you should be imagining. We have the seniors set up here in the conference center. They have their boards, they have their presentation, but they have their expertise. By this point in the process, they know their stuff. And so this gives them an opportunity not just to share it with me, not just to share it with their classmates, but to share it with everyone else. And they have become experts. They know this stuff inside, outside, and backwards. And it's wonderful to watch them go from, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what I want to write about, to, let me tell you what I know, because I know this. And so this evening, at the superintendent's invitation, I invited 3 young men to come and present for you. Unfortunately, as I've always said, my favorite thing about teaching at Clintondale is the students are involved in everything. But unfortunately, sometimes the students being involved in everything bites you, because one of our young men who's supposed to be presenting this evening is currently on the baseball field. So, but we did bring his presentation down, so you will get to see it. He just won't be here to talk to you about it. But I do have 2 young men who are here this evening, whom you've just honored as part of our honor corps. But the 3 presentations you're going to get to see are from Braden and Derry, who is not with us right now because he's playing baseball. His chosen topic was about endangered animals, with a special focus on the red panda. With us this evening is Jayshawn Blue, and as you heard, Jayshawn is interested in psychology, and so his research topic was the possible roads to recovery after abuse. And then our 3rd individual you'll get to see is Denzel Richardson, who chose the topic of safe rehabilitation for athletes, a topic that is near and dear to his heart. And I'm sure he'll be able to tell you a little bit about that when you come on down. So I'm going to put their boards over on the side table here, and then I'm going to invite you to come on up and see what they did, maybe have a word with these young men. So give us just a sec to set up.
Yep. Thank you. At this time, board members, I would like to take a short recess while the students set up their boards, and for us to have the opportunity to go down and look at them. Again, there is some some punch and cookies in the back if audience members would like to participate. And of course, come up and see the boards as well. We'd appreciate that. Thank you.
That's what we have to do.
Sorry, let Kaminsky.
Can I gavel it?
Melt in your mouth. So much for my low carb diet. Oh well. Life's short. These are awesome.
You have 23?
Oh, I saw his name on the Bike Fair thing. I didn't know that was Cordell. I remember him.
Gotta get drunk close. What? Mr. Danzig?
I'm saying.
I got a book for you to read.
What?
A book.
Okay.
Children's book. I think it's along the lines of what
Let me know. I'll take it.
because if you like Edward Tulane, you're gonna like this.
Hey, Cordell. You remember me? Remember you? Middle school. Barry Powers.
Class of 80. Class of 80. Telling your age, Barry.
Not on me. Normally I would do but I'm you would have time to go out and get it.
No, I'm gonna probably have to gavel Cordell because he'll.
Yeah, I know, he's gonna.
Right. Okay, Lou.
Yeah, I know. I see that the black was like,
Got the look, got the look. Thank you, Ms. Shire, for the job that you have done instructing and coaching these fine students. It's always a pleasure to see this at the end of the year. I know it tugs at your heart because, you know, it's a culmination, but thank you very much for this presentation. I think the students have left, but please let them know we appreciated having them here. Mr. Janzarek, was that conclude your superintendent report? Thank you. Public comment regarding business before the board. We encourage you to voice your opinion on topics on the agenda. Please stand and be recognized by the chairperson and state your name and address before commenting. To provide the opportunity for all to participate, board policy limits each individual to 3 minutes to ensure due process and respect of individual rights. The district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving individuals or specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments.
Speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Is there anyone wanting to make public comment for items before the board this evening? Seeing none, our next item on the agenda is our consent items. There are none. Non-consent items. Resolution to consider electoral representative for the June 2nd, 2025 MISD biennial election meeting and identifying the candidates supported by the board. Mr. Edward V. Farley, who is an incumbent, Mr. Donald R. Hubler, who is also an incumbent, and then Ian Colin McCain. Board members, is there a motion on the floor to open up for this discussion? Ms. Santini? Mr. Powers? Or excuse me, is there a support?
I'm sorry, what was, Ms. Santini moved to?
To open the floor for the discussion of these candidates.
Thank you, sorry. I second the motion.
Thank you. Board members, I know some of us, I would assume all of us, have received a few letters from these candidates. I don't know what your thoughts are on some of these candidates. Does anyone want to move forward in nominating any of the candidates? Ms. Santini?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Edward V. Farley, incumbent, and Mr. Donald R. Hubler, incumbent.
Okay. Mrs. Santini would like to move forward the incumbents. Is there a second on her motion?
I'll second it.
Ms. Valeria Noak, is there any discussion, further discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Madam Secretary, would you like to take the roll call to
Ms.
move?
Santini?
Yes?
Ms. Valerio now? Yes. Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
And Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes. Motion passes. Let the record reflect that our designated electoral representative as elected from our special meeting will be Mrs. Lisa Valerio Noak. Our alternate electoral representative will be Mrs. Diane Santini, and our designated representative is Mr. Edward F. Farley and Donald R. Hubler. Ms. Valerio Noak will go ahead, or Ms. Santini will go ahead and cast those votes on behalf of Clintondale Community Schools. Non-consent item number 2, Michigan Association of Superintendents and Administrators membership. The superintendent and the board president recommends that the board approve the 2025-26 Michigan Association of Superintendents and Administrators membership dues in the amount of $1,549.65. Our membership offers members-only communications and resources, special events, learning opportunities, ongoing support and guidance, legislative and legal advocacy efforts, and the sense of community that comes with being part of a professional organization. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson? Is there discussion, board members? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk? Yes. And Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes. Motion passes. Non-consent item number 3, the 25-26 membership resolution for Michigan High School Athletic Association. The superintendent and the board president recommend that the Board of Education adopt the 25-26 membership resolution for the year August 1st, 2025 through July 31st of 2026. The MHSAA is the governing body for interscholastic and athletic programs for the state of Michigan. They are responsible for developing competitive standards and help assure that they are maintained. The association establishes a common set of rules for the orderly operation of athletics, which promotes academic integrity, competitive equity. The MHSAA does require membership for all of its school districts wishing their high schools to participate in the MHSAA postseason tournaments. There is no membership fee. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Mr. Wilson, it makes the motion. Is there support?
Support.
Ms. Wilson? Is there discussion, board members? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
No.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk? Yes. Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes. Motion carries 6-1. Non-consent item number 4, the resignation. Superintendent and Supervisor of Operations recommend the board approve the resignation of Other Rucker, security guard, effective May 13th. Mr. Rucker has been employed by Clintondale Community Schools for 2 years. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support?
Support.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Is there discussion, board members? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard, excuse me.
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk? Yes. And Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes, motion carries. Resignation, the superintendent and the director of athletics recommend the board approve the resignation of Michael Johnson as the high school girls basketball coach effective immediately, per his correspondence dated May 20th of 2025. Mr. Johnson has been the girls varsity head basketball coach for 2 years. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support?
Yes. Support.
Mr. Wilson, is there discussion, board members? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk? Yes. And Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes, motion carries. Director of Special Education. The superintendent and the director of human resources recommend that the board approve Kevin Knobloch as the director of special education effective immediately. The rate of pay will be $124,000, $359, step 7 of the Tier 2 Director Pay Schedule per the Central Office Administrator Agreement. Is there a motion on the floor? President will make the motion. Is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson? Is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk? Yes. And Ms. Wilson?
Votes, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. welcome to Clintondale, Mr. Noblock. Technology Coordinator, the Superintendent, and the Director of Human Resources recommend that the Board approve Josiah Toma as the Technology Coordinator effective immediately. The rate of pay will be $60,625, step 1 of the coordinator pay schedule per central office administrator agreement. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Mr. Wilson, is there support?
Support.
Ms. Wilson, is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Zantini?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk? Yes. And Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes, motion carries. Welcome to Clintondale, Mr. Toma. Recommendation of staffing projections 2025-2026. The superintendent and the director of human resources recommend that the district may eliminate up to 3 CEA positions, 1 non-union member, up to 3 ASME members for the 25-26 school year, and shifting 1 building administrator to a CTE administrator. These reductions are a result of declining enrollment and the ending of ESSER funds. Is there a motion on the floor?
A motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support? The President will support. Discussion.
Madam President,
Chair recognizes Mr. Maynard.
I have 2 questions, Madam President.
Yes.
This is a reduction, that's great, I can see that we have to cut cost, but did you ensure that we received or attempted to receive any concessions from the superintendent's contract or the administrator's contract? It seems that this is boring a lot on teachers and a lot on AFSCME, and if we're gonna all share the pain, then we should all share the pain.
There was discussion with the superintendent. We did look at all avenues. I would like to give Mr. Jan Zurich also the opportunity to speak to this item. If you would speak, Mr. Jan Zurich?
Yes, looking at projections for next year, we have to look at projections for enrollment. So I'm not quite sure what the question was. If you want me to elaborate on projections and why we're making this decision, Mrs. Kaminsky?
I believe Mr. Maynard's question was, did we look at all avenues, and this is what we've come up with?
We continue to look at all avenues, as well as we have, with every plan for reduction when it comes to enrollment, we have some short-term and long-term projections. We have some short-term and long-term goals that we have to start shooting towards. We did look down every avenue in terms of what we could do to try to make some reductions. It's really challenging when it says up to 3 is for a reason, for enrollment purposes. We look at projections down. I've shared previously that as a school district, it's rather challenging. If we lose 25 first graders, it's an easy decision. We need 1 less first grade teacher. If we lose 25 students across the district, it's a bit of a challenge because you can't reduce just like that. When you asked me if we looked at all avenues, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Janzarek.
Madam Superintendent, or Madam President?
Yes.
In the Finance Committee meeting, I specifically asked the superintendent that question, and the answer was no, that we didn't look at asking the superintendent, and that we didn't look at asking the administrators to freeze raises that we may come across. I specifically asked that not less than an hour ago. And I'm going to ask again, are we going to look and ask the superintendent and the administrators to take a pay freeze to help us with this situation? Or are we going to bear it on the back of the ASME employees and the teachers?
Thank you, Mr.
May I be
Maynard.
recognized?
Yes, the floor does recognize Mr. Powers.
I'm looking at Mr. Janzerik's May 28th, 2025 memo, and seems to me the rationale behind the corporate action that we are being asked to take or consider, we don't have the money. So I would ask my brother, if we don't have the money, what alternative would he suggest to further the fiscal integrity of the district and ensure that we have people who are properly compensated so that we can continue to attract and retain quality people? If we ask our people to work for something less than they've earned, how do you propose we would retain them in their spots if they're talented and we want to retain them? Wouldn't that risk a problem with that? And then the second thing I have to say, looking at your letter, Mr. Janzerik, call me hyper-technical, but I was an editor of a law review in a newspaper, and I'm a proofreader by heart. And I'm looking at the letterhead, and this is not the first time we've had the letterhead not be proper, and I think it's time to bring this up since it's part of this letter. The ranking of the board is very clear. Felicia Kaminsky is first as president. She has the highest position as president. Second, Lisa Wilson, vice president. She's listed in the letterhead in her proper status. Third, Nauk. Nauk is the secretary. She holds the position of third highest rank on the board. She's entitled to all emoluments of the office and all status of the office of one holding the third highest position and should take a subordinate position to no one unless there's a compelling reason otherwise. Powers, treasurer, I'm correct. I'm after Nauk. I'm the inferior officer as the treasurer. That takes care of the officers, but then we have the trustees. Trustees are ranked by status in terms of seniority. Jared Maynard, trustee, he's the trustee having the most seniority, he's correct. But next is Diane Zontini. And even though she does have tenure in the past, she can't tack on that tenure, so with all apologies and respect to Ms. Zontini, you are the junior member. And I would suggest, I hope I'm not hurting your feelings, and as such, you belong in the 7th position. However, whoever put this letterhead together has Kurt Wilson in the 7th position. He is either in the 5th or 6th position because he came in at the same time as Lisa Wilson. However, since Lisa Wilson is an officer, then we don't have to make that distinction as to who got more votes or anything like that. So it's pretty clear. So I think that when people earn certain spots of status on the board, they're entitled to be recognized and honored for that position. If we follow an objective criteria of merit or objective criteria in the ranking of the officers and members of the board, as is customary across our country, then we can't be subjecting ourselves to picking and choosing and acting in what's called an arbitrary and capricious manner, which as a governmental body we may not do because to do so violates due process and our oaths to take the Constitution. If you act in an arbitrary and capricious manner, not only do you violate your oath and due process, but you also open yourself up to suggestions and attacks on the basis of corruption, invidious discrimination, and other wrongdoing. So this is not the first time that I've had to bring up, this is like the 3rd or 4th time I've had to bring up the proper ranking of the Board of Education on the letterhead. And while it might seem hyper-technical, it is symbolic, and we as a board have an obligation to honor our co-members of the board. The person of first rank, Kaminsky, should be sitting in the 1st seat. The person of 2nd rank, Lisa Wilson, should be sitting in the 2nd seat. The person of 3rd rank, Nauk, should be sitting in the 3rd seat. The person of 4th rank, Powers, should be sitting in the 4th seat. The person of 5th rank, Maynard, should be sitting in the 5th seat. The person of 6th rank, Kurt Wilson, should be sitting in the 6th seat, and the person of 7th rank, Zontini, should be sitting in the 7th rank. If we don't follow that objective standard, then we may be put to say, well, why would we leapfrog somebody over somebody else? Why would we elevate another person who's got the 6th standard into the position of the 3rd standard? That opens us up to being subject to lack of public confidence, lowering ourselves in the esteem of the community, and subject to discrimination and corruption. So if we're going to do something, we got to do it right. And if we don't do it right, we better damn well have a good explanation for why we're doing it the way we're doing it. Thank you.
Mr. Powers, thank you for the itemizing of our board letterhead. The motion on the floor is pertaining to the recommendations for the staffing projections. So, Mr. Maynard, my question to you is, has your question been satisfied by these answers at the table?
I've asked my question and the answers have been given.
Okay.
It is sorry that we did not go through all cost avenues. I understand the administrators waited a considerable time for their raise, but we should have gone through and looked at everything, and everybody should feel the pain. Nobody's getting a reduction, it's just a freeze. And it's a suggestion, because everybody's gonna get a step increase, and everybody's gonna get an increase with their cash. So, when we're asking people, we're looking at cutting corners, we should look at everything. But to answer your question, I've received an answer, and I will leave it at that.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard.
Could I?
Mr. Janzarek.
I'd like to point out the question that you asked was different than the question that Mr. Maynard asked, which is different than the question that was asked earlier. So I'd like to state for the record that I said to you about the avenues. So I answered your question about looking at every avenue when we were looking at a reduction of enrollment. I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Thank you, Mr. Janzarek. Board members, is there any further discussion on this item before the board? Hearing and seeing none. Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll call?
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky,
Votes yes.
Ms. Santini,
Yes.
Mr. Maynard,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk, no. Ms. Kaminsky,
She voted first.
I voted first because I made the motion. Madam Secretary, could you please go down the roll call again for,
oh, sorry.
that's okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Mrs. Kaminsky voted
Okay,
yes?
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky,
Yes.
Ms. Santini,
Yes.
Mr. Maynard,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk, no.
Thank you, Ms. Valerio Noak. Motion does pass 6-1. Closed session, the superintendent recommend that the Board of Education enter into a closed session as authorized by Section 8B of the Open Meeting Act for student discipline hearing. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Mr. Maynard, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wilson, is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Maynard,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Santini,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk, yes, and Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
and Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Second closed session, the superintendent recommend that the Board of Education enter into a closed session as authorized by Section 8B of the Open Meeting Act for student discipline hearing. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Mr. Maynard, is there support?
Support.
Ms. Wilson, is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Maynard,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Santini,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk, yes, and Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes, the motion passes 7-0. Third closed session, the superintendent and the board president recommend that the Board of Education enter into a closed session as authorized by Section 8C of the Open Meetings Act to discuss negotiations. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Ms. Wilson, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Maynard? Is there discussion, board members? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio now, yes, and Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes, motion passes. Board members, I would like to go to public comment and then amend to our closed session after a brief recess. Public comment on items not on the agenda. We encourage you to voice your opinion on topics not on the agenda. Please stand and be recognized by the chairperson and state your name, address before commenting. To provide the opportunity for all to participate, board policy limits each individual to 3 minutes. To ensure due process and respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individual. A problem involving an individual or specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Is there anyone wanting to make general public comment for items not on the agenda? Welcome, Mr. Walmsley. What do you have for us?
Good evening, everybody. Bob Walmsley, Athletic Director here at the school. I just wanted to send out some information about some of our spring sport athletes and a couple of their accolades that they received. Both our softball team season is finished. We are going to have at least 2 of our young ladies get academic all-state in softball. That's obviously the best. Now on the field, Lee will tell you that the wins and losses weren't there like we wanted, but Lee and Morgan did a heck of a job this year just trying to keep it together. When I say keep it together, because we had some injuries, we had a couple ineligibilities, and there were times when we had kids who just didn't want to play softball. So we would have 8 kids, 10 kids, 6 kids, 9 kids, and somehow we were able to make a season out of it. And, you know, like I said, Leah and Morgan did a great job just kind of keeping it together. Hopefully next year we have some more numbers. But the academic all-state for the 2 young ladies, I'll be back at the next meeting to announce and give them their certificates. So our track team did a heck of a job this year. Finished 2nd in the league in dual meets and then 2nd in the league meet. But we had a number of young ladies and young men who got all county, and I'm gonna read through them real quick. I'll go fast so I can stay in there, but this is all county. Alyssa Davis, long jump, 2nd team all county. She also is on the 4x200 relay team, 1st team all county, 4x100, 2nd team all county. Ania Wilson, 100 meter, 1st team all county, 200 meter, 1st team all county, 4x200 meter relay, 1st team all county, 4x100 meter relay, 2nd team all county. Dion Collins, 4x200 meter relay, 1st team all county, 4x100 meter relay, 2nd team all county. Ariana Brinson, 4x200 meter relay, 1st team all county, 4x100 meter, 2nd team all county. For the boys, Bryce Hill, 300 meter hurdles, 1st team all county. 4x400 meter relay, 3rd team all county. Kurt Violet, 4x400 meter relay, 3rd team all county. 4x800 meter relay, 2nd team all county. Carvel Amos, 4x100 meter relay, 3rd team all county. 4x800 meter relay, 2nd team all county. Justin Jackson, 4x400 meter relay, 3rd team all county. 4x800 meter relay, 2nd team all county. Amari Gunn, 4x800 meter relay, 2nd team all county. We also have 7 young ladies going on to the state meet this weekend. Ania Wilson for the 100 meter dash, 200 meter dash, and 400 meter dash. Alyssa Davis for the high jump. And then our 4x400 meter relay, we have 5 members of that, just in case we need a 5th. Adriana Guzman, Dion Collins, Lanaya Chamble, Cameron Nelson, and Rebecca Moncoy. They all qualified for the state meet. Our coaches did a great job with them all year. Hopefully, we're gonna keep our fingers crossed. A couple of them, they tell me, have a shot to win a state title or at least place. And then lastly, I'll mention, baseball team tonight beat Madison, who was the MAC Bronze champs this year. Since I've taken over the team to complete the season, these kids have really worked their butts off, and tonight showed it. They weren't sure if they could do it, but we beat them 11-4 tonight, and we're heading into districts on Saturday. We'll see what happens. You know, hopefully, that's it. So I'll be back in the next meeting for the academic stuff because I have a lot of them to present. So
Thank you, Mr. Walmsley.
all right, thank you.
Is there anyone else wanting to make general public items not on the agenda?
Good evening, board members. Dr. Jay Blasius. I'm speaking on behalf of the C Club today. 35-100 every Tuesday, Little Mac. Just a reminder, I don't know if you guys got the flyer about our golf outing the last Friday in July, which happens to be July 25th. As you can see, I'm thinking that due to our expanded athletic performance center, we have a phenomenal track team. Hopefully the agility and the weightlifting they're doing, Mr. Athletic Director is contributing to that. Our football team's looking good, basketball team's looking good, and I can only tell you what I see. The coaches really getting those students in the off season really working agilities and weightlifting. It's phenomenal. But back to the golf outing. About 85% of the golfers are legitimately alumni, if not more. I didn't really count. So I'm counting on you guys as members of the community to try to get some more community members, residents involved to see exactly what the alumni are doing. It would be helpful if you guys could help us out in that aspect. Not that we don't reach out. I concentrate primarily on alumni, and with your help, we can get more community involvement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Blasius. Anybody else for public comment this evening? Hearing and seeing none, the board will take a 5-minute recess and go into closed session.
Now? Where's my key?
Yeah, thanks, Kurt, I appreciate that.
In your purse?
I'm wondering if I can put my key.
Board is coming back after closed session at 9:31. In the matters of the first closed session, is there a motion on the floor for conditional reinstatement of student number 175-00156?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Is there support?
Yeah, I think you should be reinstated. Second.
Okay. Is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
I'm sorry, I didn't,
Mr. Maynard,
and then,
Mr. Powers.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Valerio Nauk, yes. Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
And Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes, motion passes. Mr. Superintendent, thank you. In regards to the second closed session, is there a motion on the floor for a conditional reinstatement for
So moved.
student number 575-0000-180?
Second, I think you should be reinstated.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard, and thank you, Mr. Powers. Is there discussion? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Mr. Maynard?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nauk? No. Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes, motion passes 6-1. Mr. and Superintendent, thank you. Is there a motion on the floor for adjournment?
So moved.
Mr. Maynard, is there support? Support. Ms. Wilson, is there any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned 9:33.